Okay, so what's your name and what are you doing here today? And maybe tell us your story.
I'm John Grant. I'm here at the drug conference. My name is Johnny Grant, and I'm here with the SNAP group from the downtown east side. I live in the downtown east side, and I've lived there for a number of years now. And I just wanted to talk about a story that, among other times, it's happened other times, but something about police brutality in the downtown east side, which has been going on for God knows how long. But my particular experience was, I was at a place called I can't remember the name of the hotel, but it was up on the 9th Street. It was in the place they called the Hood, sort of connected to the downtown east side, but it's the same bunch of people, the same type of people. Anyway, I was coming over the hill, and I was walking with this other fellow, and we were walking to go to use the phone, and these five or six young guys came over the hill in their 30s. They looked like working guys or whatever, and I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, I was in the foyer of the hotel, spinning around in a pool of my own blood, and this one guy was kicking me in the back over and over and over, and he was going, "What's your name?" And I said, I told him my name. I said, "My name's John Grant." I don't know what. He said, "Bullshit, that's not your name. What's your name?" And he kicked me and kicked me and kicked me, and I was just absolutely petrified, and I didn't know which way was up. Next thing that happened was...
So they thought you were someone else?
Well, he thought I was lying to him, whatever it was.
And these are the police?
Yeah, and this is the police. He was, at the time, he was the spokesperson for the Vancouver Police Department who was actually doing that, believe it or not. And they continued to do this beating, and then all of a sudden one of his partners came over and said, "Hey, Chow, it looks like you got some explaining to do. This guy is who he says he is," because I had a tattoo that ID'd me and this and that. And they sort of laughed and they thought it was funny, and that was that. And then the paramedics showed up to come and get me, and I overheard them saying, "We'll give him the full treatment," in which they proceeded to do this thing where I recall them dropping the gurney that I was lying on, and like letting me fall in just excruciating pain, and I was already broken up with ribs broken. I thought I was going to lose my life for sure. I didn't know what to do. I thought it was a police state. I thought all hell was breaking loose, and this is the beginning. So I was taken in the ambulance to the hospital in St. Paul's. And I went to a ward there that I'd never been to before. But on the way there, I spoke with the young police officer who was sitting with me in the back of the ambulance. There was no paramedic there. It was just a policeman, whatever. And I said, "Why are you guys doing this? Why are you treating me so horribly? I mean, if you hate me, I understand that, but or if you hate what I stand for, that's fine." Well, he said, we're not being mean to you, we're being nice to you. We're taking you to the hospital, aren't we? And I just went, whatever. Anyway, that's the kind of sarcasm that they were giving me.
Sure.
So in the hospital, I went to this ward that I'd never seen before. I was the only one that seemingly on it, and this young nurse was really cantankerous towards me. He just wanted me to say something, one false move, and I was dead, sort of thing. Anyway, he kept gouging me into saying something, and finally I just said, whatever. And he said, "That's it, you're out of here." And two big intern types, the hospital employees, big, huge black fellas, I think. One was, anyway, it didn't matter about that, but they were big boys, and they started pushing me off down the hall. And I said, "I need my clothes." And they said, you didn't come with any clothes." I said, "You're telling me I came here naked?" And they said, "Yeah, that's right." And I had this ripped up gurney with blood all over it, and it was all tied up, but it was barely covering me. And I was kicked out the back of the hospital and sent into the street like that. And I ended up going to the hospital a month later. I didn't want to go near the hospital. I didn't want to have anything to do with anybody, so I just waited it out, and I was in severe pain. It was getting worse and worse, and finally I went into cardiac arrest, I guess. I started to palpitate about a month later, and I went to the hospital where I stayed for 25 days while they tried to find out why I had pneumonia. And it turned out that I had one of the broken ribs had punctured my lung and collapsed it.
Oh.
And they were going to pop my chest open the very next day when they found this out. The next day they were just giving up. The only thing they could do was open my chest and look at. I didn't even know they were going to do that, but luckily they had found out the problem, and it was pretty simple for them to fix that up and get me back on my feet and stop the leaking of the lung and whatnot. But it was the scariest time of my life, and to this day I'm petrified about bringing forth a lawsuit of some kind. You'd think that I would want to have this answered for, but I'm petrified that they're going to take me to Stanley Park and do one of those beatings that we all know about, or maybe not everybody knows about, but I do, or out to the Fraser River, leave me there for who knows what. I'm sure they've done that before, and that's all I have to say.